What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know whenever a new episode is uploaded. And so we're going to have a podversation, and this is going to be about a story that came out a little over a week ago. And this is about the Cardi B, Tasha K lawsuit and the situation that has just been in the news since the verdict came out, and how people just really can't stop talking about it. And to be honest with you, I find this part of it a little bit comical because lawsuits happen all the time. People win in court, people lose in court. As I often say, especially as someone who was in the legal field for over 12 years. No, I was never an attorney, but I was a legal assistant, and I've seen a lot. And honestly, those who really win in court usually are the attorneys. Whether the attorney is taking a case on a contingency, which means that the client is not paying anything out of pocket, and they only really get money or get paid if they win the case. And usually they will not take a case on contingency unless they know they absolutely can get something for you. And you see a lot of those situations when it comes to the ambulance chaser type lawyers in litigation, when it comes to car accidents or claims such as those, where there usually will be some sort of payout or settlement, at least if there is not a judgment in court, if they don't have to take it there. And then the attorneys who make money based on the retainer, and if they have to litigate, and then they have their hourly billable hours and the expenses and things of that nature. So the attorneys are usually the only ones that really truly win, because even when the verdict happened and everybody was talking about it, something that Cardi B said in a tweet, I believe it was either a tweet or Instagram post, it may be a tweet, I don't follow her on social media, but I remember hearing someone talk about this, and she pretty much said, why don't I really feel any better? Like, I don't even really feel like great right now. And there's a reason for that. But I won't go into all of that at the moment. But I wanted to talk about this because this story came out regarding an interview that vlogger Tasha K did. I laughed at it because the initial reaction after listening to it, even if you are someone that really hates Tasha K, you can't say that it wasn't funny. Whether you felt slighted by it or felt that it was disrespectful or whatever, to hear her laugh and to hear her laugh about it when she was asked the question, I felt like it was pretty funny. So I'm going to let that clip play, and then we're going to get back into this.
This lawsuit allegedly at this moment, I think it's $4 million you have to pay a celebrity. A lot of conversation has been is, do you even have that amount of money to pay in this lawsuit? Like, is Tasha K worth that amount of money to pay that?
I ain't got it.
Wait, I always want to know. Listen, I'm so glad you said it.
Listen,
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Don't ask me for no money. I ain't got it. But listen, we have business things in place that takes care of things like this. Now, of course, the appellate court and the Supreme Court is in process right now.
So that is true. You're not trying to pay that $4 million. You're gonna do the appeal.
No. That's what the appellate court.
and then
who's trying to pay $4 million? Who? You got it? Can let me borrow? I get it.
I know. Listen, that YouTube money is big checks. I thought
it's good, but I got 2 children.
All right, so you heard it. And here's the thing. This is a civil court situation. As egregious as some people may think that it is, and yeah, it's not cool to say something about someone that is not true ever. It really isn't. It's not a good thing to do, but she paid the ultimate price by even having to deal with the situation in court. But for some people, and I've said this before, Tasha K and Cardi B can win in this situation and they both can lose in this situation. I don't think that Tasha K is seeing this as a loss, and I think that those who really hate her are upset about it because they want her to suffer. They want her to suffer the consequences. And I say that because I've seen some of the comments and I've heard even some people who have called into other people's platforms if they've had a show talking about this situation. And some people treat this like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you had a debt that you owed a collection agency and you're dealing with the person on the phone and they're treating this like you personally owe them money out of their pocket and you need to pay this now, and they're not just really treating it like a job. It's like, no, you owe me, pay me my money. It's like, girl, calm down. Yeah, I might owe the money, but like, why do you have to treat me like this? Did I not pay you? Do I owe you something personally? And I think some people are really taking this way more personally than they should, because it doesn't involve any of us. It's between Tasha K and Cardi B. And also, I didn't hear Tasha K say that I refuse to pay and she ain't getting bleep from me. They asked her if she had that amount of money to pay, and she said, I ain't got it. I mean, what's wrong with that? She's being honest. She's like, I don't have it. And I believe she's being honest to say that, no, I don't have $4 million. But she also said that she plans to appeal it. It's her right to try to do that. And that is not uncommon either. Now, I don't know if the Supreme Court is going to be taking this case, but she does have the right to appeal. And just because she is appealing it does not mean that the court is going to overturn the judgment itself in terms of her being held liable, in terms of the libel, L-I-B-E-L, being liable, L-I-A-B-L-E for the libel, L-I-B-E-L, or the defamation of character in that essence. But the court ultimately has the right to rule that the amount of the award that the jury said she needs to pay to Cardi B and to her team, that definitely can be reversed. It can be lowered, and that is something that happens a lot. You often may hear of these very high judgments that happens in a lawsuit, in a civil matter. But rarely do you really hear about the situations when the courts or the judge will reduce the amount. But a lot of times that won't happen unless the defendant requests it to be reviewed and to be reduced. Now, I'm going to just share one situation, but there are a number of other situations in the past where a judgment happened and it was reversed. Now, this story is actually about Wal-Mart. Now, some of you may say, well, Tasha K ain't no Wal-Mart, but it's her channel is a business, and Wal-Mart is a business. And Wal-Mart appealed a $100 million judgment that they received, and this happened in 2020. So Wal-Mart, they wanted to have the court overturn a $102 million judgment in a class action lawsuit over alleged California wage statement and meal period violations. So that was in 2020. And then in June of 2021, it was reported that the $102 million wage and hour judgment against Wal-Mart was reversed. And the story reads, in a significant victory for California employers, the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals reversed a $102 million award against Wal-Mart in a suit alleging that the retailer violated the California Labor Code's wage statement and meal break provisions. The Ninth Circuit's opinion is an important clarification of the cognizable harm required to establish Article 3 standing under the Private Attorneys General Act and the Labor Code's wage statement requirements. So I'm not going to go into all of the details about that, but pretty much I'm just showing you an example of how a defendant did appeal a judgment and it was reversed. Now, I'm not here to say that that's going to happen in Tasha K's situation because I do not know, but I know that she does have the right to appeal the judgment, and So some people are thinking that she just needs to let it go. But also, I do believe that there are people that just really can't stand the lady. They can't stand her. So they just want to see her suffer and they want to see her go down. Again, and I've said this before, I don't think she should have her channel taken away, because if she has a judgment and this is her business, how do people expect her to pay the judgment? And civil courts do not make people homeless and destitute to pay a judgment. They're not going to kick her out of her house, force her to sell her home, her possessions, and all of these different things in order to pay Cardi B. It's not going to happen. Yes, they can garnish her wages. They can request that YouTube garnish her wages. But even in that, it can only be for a percentage. And I believe no more than 20%. I just know, just being an employer, because I've received things like that in the past from fortunately, from former employees, where I didn't have to go through having to garnish anyone's wages, because I don't want to have to ever do anything like that, even if it was an employee that I didn't really care for, because it's also work for my accountant and for my payroll company to have to handle and deal with things like that, because it's like, that's none of my business. I don't really want to have to get involved. But it would always be for a percentage. They can never just garnish anyone's entire paycheck, earnings, whatever. It just doesn't happen that way, because the judgment, you can set up payment arrangements and payment plans and all of those different things, but it's something that could affect your credit, of course, and there could be an uncollectible judgment that happens as well, where it's like, well, the person can't pay, and people are saying, well, she can't file bankruptcy because of the manner in which the situation happened. But if she doesn't have all of it, they're not going to make her homeless and make her broke in order to give Cardi B money that, to be honest with you, Cardi B really doesn't need. Am I saying she deserved to have lies spoken about her? No. But every dog has their day. And I just believe that people just really need to be careful about celebrating someone's losses, even if you feel that it is deserved. Because, again, every dog has their day. We reap what we sow, and we just have to really be careful about what we put out there. And even the same for Cardi B, because she apparently responded to this situation, and she wrote on her social media, "Think is a game, not think it's a game." So maybe it was a typo, I'm just saying. But she said, "Think is a game, but trust, I'ma come for everything. bbhmm," which stands for bitch better have my money. Now, I don't know if the courts would really smile upon her doing that either. I just feel that it's like an unwarranted response, because, again, Tasha K didn't say, "I refuse to pay Cardi B anything." She is appealing it, and the question was asked of her, do you have that money to pay it? And Tasha K said, "I ain't got it. No, I don't have $4 million. And she did joke around and say, who's trying to pay that amount of money? Like, you got $4 million? Let me have it. Like, it was a joke. It was a joke. But again, Cardi B, she has a right to feel however she wants to feel, but is it warranted? I don't really think that it is. You already sued her. You won in court. Tasha K said she's appealing it, and we'll see what comes of it at that point. But at this moment in time, we just really need to just watch and see what happens. And Cardi B, I believe she has to realize and remember too that she's not in the best of circumstances at this moment either, because I believe she's waiting on a trial for some criminal situations. So be careful celebrating, in a situation like this when you've got your day coming up soon. And I don't know when that will be, but I'm just saying all of this to say that I think some people are just really taking this to heart and acting as if Tasha K owes them money, because I've heard some people say things like, the courts, they don't play, and they can even come and take her teeth. They can remove her veneers out of her mouth and sell it to give Cardi B the money. I'm hoping the person was just joking when they said even that statement, but I think some people just really taking it too far. Tasha K, it was a funny statement because she was being interviewed and she answered the question that was asked of her. Now, that statement that she made, that was the official statement that she made on her YouTube channel after the verdict, I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't understand that, a lot of it. But again, she has reason to feel the way she has the right, I should say. She has the right to feel however she wants to feel. Does it make it right? No, but it's her feelings and she's going through the process. But I won't celebrate her loss, just like I wouldn't celebrate Cardi B having something said about her that wasn't true either. I never have. I don't know any of these people, and it's just, for me, a little bit of entertainment. But it is Tasha K's real life. It is Cardi B's real life situations that they are involved in. And Tasha K was interviewed and she was just sharing her, I feel like, lighthearted answer to that question that was asked of her, and not allowing people to see her sweat. I am quite sure she had her moments of breakdown. I am quite sure that to hear that number, it was definitely a shock to the system. Nobody, even if you were being sued and you had the money, wants to lose in court. Nobody wants to go through that. I don't believe anyone wants to deal with a blow like that. But I'm just happy that they're both hopefully moving on and forward in this situation, and hopefully it will come to some healthy resolve at some point. But I do believe that some people who were I would say, rooting for Cardi B fans in this situation felt so because they felt that Tasha K was just very defiant and adamant up until the trial. So I guess some people just maybe had the thought of, well, she should have that same energy now that she did before the situation happened in court. But again, she's just moving forward in it, and I think she's just trying to be as lighthearted in public as she possibly can. And I'd say absolutely, like, that's what you're supposed to do, especially getting to the place where she is right now, because she definitely has become a similar household name. Not saying she's like a Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams does have that crowd of people that love her and the crowd of people who hate her and can't stand her. And no, Tasha K is not as well known as Wendy Williams is at this point, but I would definitely say it's similar, where she has the people that really love her and then she has the people that can't stand her. And it's clear from the commentary that I've seen about her all across social media. But I just wanted to talk about it from a legal perspective, and also just from a perspective of she's just in an interview and sharing her thoughts based on the questions that were asked of her. She didn't just get on social media and say, I refuse to pay that B word and don't ask me for it because you ain't getting it. And she's trying to transfer assets and whatever and put it in other people's names. I don't think that's it. She's trying to work through it in a legal way, and that's just what it is. But I really would love to know what you guys think about it, but I just wanted to share my thoughts based on the situation, because I do feel that some people are just like really upset that she has the nerve to laugh it off and say, I ain't got it. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, it's similar to Tierra Marie. So it's like, now is Cardi B trying to be like 50 Cent and just trying to be as petty as possible with money that you really don't need? 50 Cent really does not need that $30,000 or whatever it is that he won against Tierra Marie when she lost her case, because she actually sued 50 Cent and she lost. But he wants that money. He wants that money that he was awarded. And so I really hope Cardi B isn't going to be as petty as 50 Cent is, although $4 million is not a petty amount of money. But for Cardi B, it's not as great a deal as it is to people like you and me. So anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.